Before anyone says anything, yes, I knew about condoms. I was just dumb. Story time. My parents divorced when I was 10 but lived primarily with my mom. Tiffany's, 16, parents are together. When our parents found out she was pregnant, her parents kicked her out and my mom kicked me out. So now we live with my dad. During the pregnancy, my dad took my mom to court and got primary sole custody. I know what this means because I had to go to court for my daughter. He sued Tiffany's parents for legal guardianship and they now pay child support for her and they are pissed and refuse to talk to us. I am in my bedroom and my daughter is in her bedroom and my ex is in the guest room that is now hers. My dad made a deal with us. We live with him until 18 with no rent payment. At 18 we need to decide what it is we do. I wasn't really that good in school and Tiffany is an A student. So I took my GED and my dad got me into welding school. I finish in 2 months. I also work full time so I do welding school at night. Tiffany goes to school and works on the weekends at Wendy's. This whole thing is a huge ordeal. We literally have no life. My dad helps but not that much because he feels it's our responsibility, which I agree but still sucks. I work 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. at a warehouse and go to school from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tiffany is home by 2:30 and picks up our daughter from daycare. We help each other a lot and then I head off to school and she stays with her at home until I get home and do it all over again day after day. When our daughter was born, my dad made us go to court. We have 50-50 and I don't pay child support because she lives with us. Because I work full time I can get health care for my daughter and myself and that sucks. It costs me $300 a month and daycare is $400 a week. Literally Tiffany works just so we can pay for daycare and I pay for everything else. When we are short for cash my dad will help because he sees we are trying. My dad has been our rock. When we are tired and exhausted he will step in and give us a break here and there, but he makes sure we have everything we need and keeps us motivated. Tiffany wants to apply to college soon and I am worried because I don't want to keep living with her and I don't think I can keep our daughter full time as a welder working 12-hour shifts. But she says she will start at community college and work but wants to stay with us living together since it's easier. Since I will be working and it will be best for us to stay with my dad. But my dad said at 18 we have to pay rent. She doesn't mind but I don't want to keep living with her because we aren't together. I am unsure how to tell her this. My dad thinks she should stay with us as long as she is a full-time student to finish her degree because I'm already getting my career. I just feel that all this is unfair because the burden is on me. I guess I am ranting because I am scared and unsure of what all this means. Edit. I guess my thing about her living with us is that we are more like siblings now. We get along and joke and stuff but since she is my ex I feel weirded out by it. Maybe I need to take a breather since everyone is saying it's a good thing. Also I needed to hear it from other people and not just my dad and he is pretty solid and I should thank him, maybe take him for dinner or something. Second edit, my dad isn't kicking us out at 18, but he wants us to be realistic to the world and pay bills. The money he gets from Tiffany's parents he just gives it to her. She is saving up money for a car and uses other money for her specific foods and clothes. Before I became a dad my dad always wanted me to live with him at 18 and figure it out and stay with him and save money to buy a house. When he found out I was going to be a dad he wasn't mad but disappointed and said everything has to change. He also is paying for my welding school of $20,000 and he bought me my car but I do have to pay my own insurance. He does help as long as he sees we are trying and not being lazy. When school recently started he took my daughter to daycare every morning and helped Tiffany with a routine to get school work done. Final edit. I have to get to class now. Tiffany wants to be a nurse or PA but the college told her nursing school is hard to get into and it's best to have a high school diploma, which is why she is still in high school and working the weekends. But someone mentioned a dual thing for community college and we will look into that. So we couldn't get daycare assistance because we are minors and they used my dad's salary. The funny thing is I can't open a checking account for myself because I am a minor but the bank allowed me to open a children's account for my daughter because I am her parent. Lol, the irony. I read every single comment and it's given me a different PO5 and one guess college seems so far and I was counting years but it's really not that bad. She is like a sister now and those who asked I doubt we will get back together. Honestly I am not thinking about anything like that right now. I am too tired to think of a relationship or that type of future. Update, I 16M have a 4-month-old daughter. XGF wants to go to college. I feel like I need to update but here it goes. Tiff and my dad went to the school and were able to get her enrolled in college courses because of her grades. She won't graduate HS way too fast but she will have enough to finish HS hours by next December, so 6 months early. She reapplied for assistance, we got a voucher for daycare so now it's $50 a week. She quit her job so she can focus on school but she doesn't start college until spring, so that's cool, it gives her some time. She still wants to be a nurse, so that's cool too. I got a new job that pays more as a forklift operator and will give me an internship for welding, which I won't be able to start until November/December until I finish my classes, and then I have to do a 2-month internship, but they are paying me really good. I started Monday. My dad and I had a long talk about my fears and he reassured me that it's okay to be scared but we have a game plan. He is fixing up the basement to make 2 bedrooms and a living room like a little apartment because he said Tiff and I will need space as we grow. He wants me to buy the house when I am 18 like he did with his parents, and he will help me pay it as long as Tiff gets to stay until she finishes college and let her make her own choice. We all agreed this is the best option and we are all really much happier now. I guess I just needed to let it out. Tiff and I are great while being parents is hard, but it's been good now that we feel a bit more secure. My mom and Tiff's parents still haven't spoken to us because we aren't married. Which does make me sad, but it's okay. We have my dad. Tiff's grandparents bought her a car and said that's all they can do for her and not to contact them again until we are married. The car needs some work, but I'm going to pay for it to fix it up. It needs brakes, suspension and some regular maintenance. My dad finally told me what all happened and I didn't know, but it made me open my eyes to all of this. My dad met my mom in HS2 and they were together and got caught kissing. Since my mom's family are Baptist, they forced my dad to marry her. I didn't know in Missouri parents can marry their kids at 15, which is why my dad has been so protective. They were going to marry Tiff and I because she was pregnant, and when my dad stepped in they couldn't do it. My mom and Tiff's dad went and got a license for us and were going to marry us in their church. I guess I wouldn't have minded marrying Tiff, but I would rather do it later. But yeah, that's why they aren't talking to us. My dad did say if that happened he would help us get it annulled, but we have no intentions of speaking to them right now. He explained that Tiff is stuck, and while I might be afraid, she is even more afraid because she has no one and I need to reassure her we are here for her as a family. I guess I couldn't see it that way, and it's good that I talked to him. I hugged my dad and I have been hugging him every day now, and it's nice, it's made us closer. All of this information made me pretty sad and grateful at the same time, and it helped Tiff and I really start talking more. Like we talked but we didn't talk, and I didn't know she was scared too. We are now doing days for us to be kids, as my dad says. So we both hang out with our friends who still talk to us at least once a week, and Tiff and I do a lot of stuff on the weekends now that she doesn't work. Like taking Jelly to the park and going for walks, and we did a pumpkin patch. Jelly seems to be happier too, and Tiff doesn't seem as tired anymore. Anyway, thanks everyone for the help, tips and encouragement. I doubt I will update again and just lurk for parenting advice. Edit. Just want to say thanks for thinking I'm a great dad, but I don't believe it just yet. I depend a lot on my dad to help me. Tiff and I are trying. We do take parenting classes that they offer us a lot of advice, and we have made friends there, which is nice. But I don't think we would be this prepared without my dad. Also, Tiff is on WIC and we take parenting and co-parenting classes. It's my dad's rules. Now on to the next story. Story 2. My husband doesn't want to spend time with his family. I've gotten closer to one of our friends and am now in love with him. I'm not sure this is the best place for this type of thing, but if Teresa a better place, please point me in the right direction. So, me, F31, and my husband, M32, have a 4-year-old daughter together. Same old story, great in the beginning, the usual small arguments, and especially since having our daughter, Hess way more distant. Would rather spend his time playing video games than spend time with me or our daughter. Oh, and if Hess not playing games? Hess on YouTube on his phone, watching people play games. We have a tight friend group that I married into, so to speak. 14 of us. Everyone at least went to high school with each other, some went to elementary. I'm the only outsider. Around 8 months ago, a couple from this group bought a house very close to ours. Naturally, our daughters have become closer friends and want to do a lot of things together. So she joined the same dance class as ours. The class is at 8 a.m. on Saturdays, so the dad takes her. Meet S, M31. S and I have always gotten along. We met around 9 years ago when my husband and I got together. The first week at class we sat together for the hour in the waiting room. It's separate from the hall, so we can't actually watch. We usually just sit in awkward silence. S is quite a funny guy, so it flew by with his company. The next week Hess there and says Hess going to get a coffee instead of sitting in that room. I'm welcome to join if I'm not busy. I agree and we get in his car. We end up stuck in traffic, so by the time we get there Therese not much time left to sit in and have it, so we get it to go and sat for 20 minutes in his car. That's fine. The next week he says Hess doing the same thing. I'm welcome to join. We go again, and this time, I don't know why, but I got very paranoid about it. I asked if we could just get it in the drive-thru and stay in the car again. He says sure, and we end up passing his phone between us, picking terrible songs from our childhood for the hour. It was actually quite fun. And every week for the past 8 months has went like this, and I've not told my husband about any of it. I lost my dad a few months ago and my husband just didn't care. No compassion. No comforting. Nothing. I couldn't believe the man I married was acting this way when I needed him most. I couldn't even cry around him without him huffing and puffing. S turned to my outlet during this time, and I've cried in his arms several times. Through this he asked how things were at home, and I was honest with him and told him I've never felt more alone than when I'm at home with my husband. Hess been amazing putting up with me, and had suggested a marriage counselor, which I brought to my husband, but he was having none of it. S has told me he feels differently about my husband. He had no idea he was like that and has actually made a few comments towards him about it, but as usual, way above my husband's head. I've lost feelings for my husband, and probably did a long time ago. and have fallen for S hard. I feel wrecked with guilt. Confused. Hurt, sad, but all of that goes away when I see his face. I want to add here that in no way has S ever been inappropriate to me. Hess never acted creepy, never said anything suggestible, never caught him staring, nothing at all that would suggest he has alternate motives. But I'm ashamed to admit, the only reason we haven't kissed or had sex is because Hess never made a move. I'm scared because the way he makes me feel, I don't think I would say no or pull away. There's been a few times after seeing him when I get home that all I do is wish he did make a move. And that makes me a horrible fucking person. This all sounds crazy for someone I spend an hour with every morning at the weekend, but it's spilled over to other clubs our kids go to. They'll see him at nursery. I started matching our dog walking times some days so we will see each other. If Terry's an excuse to see him, I'll find it and use it. I know this is bad, and I need to do something about it, but when it comes to it, I never do anything, because I don't want to. Then hours after I'm battling my head telling myself I need to stop and I need to sort my marriage, whether that be working on it or separating. I want to tell us how I feel, but I don't want to look like a fool. I don't want to scare him. What if it blows up their marriage? What if our kids can't see each other? What happens to the friend group if this gets out? It's a fucking mess. I don't know what to do because we will still see each other a lot. My husband would never take our daughter to classes, so I'm stuck with that. I always do the nursery runs. How can I get over him if Hess everywhere? Update 1. Seeing as my last post got an overwhelming amount of attention, I thought I would post an update. I want to thank everyone who messaged me privately, all from very similar situations. Reading through your messages, it's crazy to me how many people seem to be married to the same person. It's given me the strength I needed to make this decision. Those that left not so nice messages, please think about how your words are going to impact someone. It's very easy to sit behind a computer or phone and type up the horrible things you have. I've had people sending me messages saying I should kill myself. That my baby should be taken from me. That I'm a whore. That I shouldn't be allowed out in public. I don't deserve those messages. No one does. A lot of people posting here will be in a vulnerable state as it is. There's no need for it, and you're the one that comes off looking broken. I'll reiterate here for the people who didn't seem to understand. I've not slept with S, I've made no moves to do so. I haven't kissed S, and have made no moves to do so. I said if he made a move, with my frame of mind, I think I would be in trouble. I'm certain there will be other women here who know what I'm talking about regarding this. Anyway, yesterday I kept the same routine, off out our walk with the dogs at night, home and bed. Just before jumping into bed, S texted me asking if I used Reddit. My heart sank. I told him I did and asked why. He sent me a link to my post and said, "Did you post this?" I admitted it was me, and waited for the ground to swallow me up. He replied with wow, and a few minutes later texted me saying not to stress. He won't tell anyone. Take the night to myself and think things over, and we will talk tomorrow, which is now today. He told me we were going to sort it out. Everything will be fine, but we need boundaries. I was a wreck last night, but after a few hours I calmed down. Didn't get much sleep. I read through all the messages I had gotten. And reading them and looking at my husband passed out on the other side of the bed, I was seething with anger. I have no idea why. That spilled over to this morning, and I'm not even going to talk it through with him. We're done. I'm organizing things while Hess out so I can leave quickly if I need to. I'm sorting a place to stay today and contacting lawyers. I can feel the relief coming, and nothing he says will stop me leaving. If he asks, I'll tell him there was someone who made me realize the life I have with him is not the life I want. I won't tell him who. Hess been given countless chances to step up to the plate, and every time he fails me and our daughter for his own selfishness. He will never change. I haven't spoken to S yet today, and I don't really know how that side of things will pan out. I hope we can remain friends, but I totally understand if he wants to take a step back. I can't hold anything against him. And despite what people are telling me I want in my last post, I do not want to interfere in anyone's marriage. I may post another update, I may not. The last post was hard to keep on top of. I'm not sure exactly what day, but the conversation will be had before Friday. Thank you for the words of encouragement, I really needed it. Update 2. I feel much better. It feels like such a relief. Husband has been trying to contact me non-stop. Despite being told the only communication between us will be about our daughter, I'm not interested in hearing his bullshit anymore. This has brought his true colors out and only solidified my choice. He has been struggling, and my second night out the house I received a text from S to say my husband was currently at their house, in tears. Awkward. Hess been leaning on them for support, and from what I hear, will do anything he can to get me back. Which is odd considering the multiple messages Hess sent telling me that me and our daughter ruined his life and that he never wanted any of us. I have lots of great support from friends and family, much to his chagrin. Me and S have limited contact, though he still checks in to make sure I'm alright and if me and my daughter need anything. We spoke and we both agree, I'm experiencing limerence. I reiterated that I'm not out to sleep with him, and that I have been in a very fragile state of mind for God knows how long. It doesn't make it any easier when it comes to his wife. I feel horrible and fully accept it if neither of them want to remain friends. She hasn't been told yet, but will be when things have settled a bit. I already no longer feel like I'm in love with him. It's more like he showed me the light, and made me realize that the way we were living wasn't normal or healthy, and that I deserve better. My husband has his own issues, like we all do. But they don't fix themselves, and I can't waste my life away in the hopes that they do. I do hope he gets himself whatever help he needs. If not for him, for our daughter, she doesn't deserve to come second to video games and YouTube. Again, I want to thank everyone who chimed in with advice and the ones who sent me their own similar stories, and I hope anyone reading these in a similar situation can take something away from my story. Don't settle and waste as many years as I did.